All right, test, test. Hey, everybody, good morning. It's Mike. We're on Interstate 10 driving out of the state, Florida here, getting close to Pensacola. And this is turning into the worst case scenario, folks. Hurricane hunters are in there right now. They're finding winds possibly 145. We already officially are winds of 140, Category 4, and hurricane hunters are back out there right now. And pressure looks like it's possibly continuing to drop, and it's got several more hours over water and warm water. So this is as bad as it gets. This is Category 4, maybe making a run at even 5. Who knows? NAC expecting a 145 mile an hour storm by landfall. Regardless, the tracks has stayed pretty consistent. It's still on that northwest motion that's been very well predicted the last several days. We've seen little wiggles, little wobbles. The stronger the systems are, the more the eye walls look like they bounce around, and you see a little track to the west and a track to the east, and basically it ends up it's the long range motion that you're looking at, and it's hasn't swayed much. NEC just put out a special advisory. Let's see what they say here. They've been doing updates every hour. Hurricane Ida is extremely dangerous, Category 4, life-threatening storm surge, catastrophic winds, all the stuff you expect. The one, I guess, breaking news, I didn't post breaking news, but the storm surge maps were just updated. I shared it, the NAC storm surge graphics. Now that we have an increased wind forecast, obviously the winds are going to increase quite a bit, or the surge. So the surge values have increased quite a bit. Now we're looking at, I think, 16 foot, maybe 12 to 16 foot along portions of the lower Louisiana Gulf area there. Let's take a look. 12 to 16, I believe. But I'm staying safe. Yeah, 12 to 16 foot. 12 to 16 foot now along Port Fourchon, the mouth of Mississippi, 12 to 16 foot. 8 to 12 foot, Morgan City, and 8 to 12 foot, Bay St. Louis to mouth of Mississippi. So then, with Category 4 storm, who knows if that's under or over. Surge is so hard to predict. I just saw a tweet put out that some tide gauges are already showing a 4-foot increase in the last 30 minutes. So the surge is well advanced right now. So we could see more. Doing a lot of research on surge, you get a lowering pressure system, lowering pressure bulges the water, and it actually adds to the surge that you would normally expect with wind in a forward motion storm. So that this unfortunately, the worst case scenario is peaking at the wrong time. We talked about Category 5 systems. All 4 U.S. landing hurricanes that were Category 5 were a tropical storm 3 days out. So this is very possible for this thing to do what it's doing. Peaking at the wrong time is bad because anytime you get lowering pressures making landfall, it takes a longer time to reverse and weaken. So we're gonna see effects well inland, way past Interstate 10, well into Mississippi, even Alabama, as this starts to make a turn. We got even storm threats into Tennessee. This thing is not going to weaken right away. We're gonna see storm squalls and intense winds all the way 150 plus miles at least north of landfall, which means power outages like many might not have expected. Power outage is going to be a huge story, and weeks and weeks and weeks possibly down power for a lot of folks. NAC mentioning possibly spots are going to be unable to be returned to for weeks at a time with a system like this. So we're watching something unfold here that's going to end up being a major story, unfortunately. And for us on our little page here, I know we got a lot of fans affected that have evacuated. So, man, we're thinking of you guys. Hopefully everybody stays safe. That's more important than anything else. I did want to note the craziest thing that I've started to notice as I trickle my way westward is these rest areas that are heading eastbound. My God, I've never seen anything like it. The rest areas are completely jammed packed. We have cars parked on every inch of grass at these rest areas. Not the road, the grass. Like hundreds and hundreds of cars that have evacuated are parked on these rest areas. It's definitely a sight to see. I've just never seen it because I mean we got evacuation. People evacuating. They're heading out of the storm. So obviously, a rest area is a good place to go. There's safety in numbers, and we got security at those usually. So. That was definitely a eye-opener to see the reality of people waiting this storm out. I am not going into the city, promise you that. I'm going to stay on the outskirts of town, maybe hang out in Mississippi, but definitely staying on the eastern and the northern side of wherever Ida ends up going. So, folks that are worried about it, I am not going into the city. And then I'll be home tomorrow. I'm just doing a little documenting, a little research, a little education. We'll be home tomorrow. Therell be no Daily Brew tomorrow. We'll be back to normal on Tuesday, talking about major Hurricane Ida. And hopefully nothing else coming for a while. We do have a little spot that popped off the East Coast. It's the highlighted yellow, and that little area, if it does anything, looks like it's going to drift south and back into the East Coast. So could be a little homegrown rainmaker coming. So if you look at the 2 a.m. NAC map, there's a little yellow dot off the East Coast. Only a couple models show anything with it, but it's a little low pressure area that might kind of get spinning over that Gulf Stream. Bounce its way back into the Carolinas, down to Georgia maybe as a rainmaker the next few days. So I have to watch that one. Nothing to worry about yet on that. There's a bunch of Atlantic waves, TD11, TD10. They appear to be going north and northeast. Maybe a little bit of action for Bermuda and the Azores. And we got a new spot coming off of Africa. That's the one that we're looking at. That's going to be in the middle Atlantic, middle this upcoming week. But a lot of modeling has that shooting off to the north. And then that little area by Central America is still showing up on the Canadian model midweek. That's pulling up towards Labor Day weekend. But as far as main operational runs go, it is only the Canadian that's showing it. So there's very low probability going into Labor Day weekend that we'll have anything at least affecting coastal United States or continental U.S. So we're in Pensacola right now, by the way. Got my lights on. You can see them flashing the reflective. I got some safety lights on the front, some safety lights on the back. Staying safe. Don't worry. I've updated all night long. I took a good little power nap in the rest area and feeling brand new. So this is unfolding before our eyes. It's unfortunately it could be 145 mile an hour hurricane now, or at least it's predicted to be 145 by landfall. And it doesn't look like there's anything slowing it down. So we'll see if it makes a run at anything more. But of course, it's immaterial at this point. 145, 155. I mean, we're worried about the next 12 hours here as our storm comes comes ashore. If you look at the radar, check out the radar coming out of New Orleans, you can really see that eye, very symmetrical eye on radar. Very healthy system. We got some outer bands reaching the upper Gulf right now. Currently in New Orleans, we had some outer bands last night around the Big Bend area around Tallahassee. They kind of hovered around the beach overnight. You probably saw a lot of lightning. And we do have a tornado threat today. SPC mentioning that, so pay attention to that. We can have tornado alerts throughout the day with these squalls that are developing that rotate in. We got a pretty serious storm rainfall maps on the site, predicting upwards of 15 to 20 inches of rain from Ida as it moves northward, and we got periods of 10 inches of rain spreading well north. Also a potential. So not only do we have a wind threat along the coast, we have a inland rainfall freshwater map. And remember, folks, around 90% of all hurricane deaths are water related. Okay, you can hide from the wind, but you got to run from the water. So if you're in a surge prone area, if you were told to evacuate, then you need to pay attention. You need to try to get out, because we have increased surge now coming, and then we got to add inland freshwater flooding is just as serious as surge water, and we got a foot plus of rain predicted for a large area from Ida. So stay safe. I'll be updating, of course, throughout the day here, especially in the morning hours, as daybreak is upon us soon, as it is 6 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time here, and I am in Pensacola, Florida, fixing to cross over into Alabama and then Mississippi. So again, I might be hanging out on the Mississippi side as the storm approaches. Bay St. Louis has been something we've been talking a lot about on our daily lives. I'm kind of curious if I'll be able to hang out somewhere around there. Just hoping Interstate 10 doesn't get flooded, and we'll have to play that by ear. So, all right, we'll be live in a little while again. Just to give you a quick update, what's going on with Mike here, and where we're at, where we're driving, and then throughout the night. And we are sitting at a Category 4, 140-mile-an-hour hurricane right now, currently, and hurricane hunters are out there right now, possibly finding it a little bit stronger. And